Hello guys, thanks for joining me. I'm just looking out of my study window. That's the view that I have. And it's a rainy, damp, miserable, cold, late October day up here in northern Scotland. And I'm not going to be going anywhere today, so I'll be spending the day indoors in my study. And I haven't done a video on my study. I haven't done a room tour for over a year now, so I thought, well, I'm here now. I'll be spending the day here, so I'll do a quick review of my room at the moment. And as I say, this is where I spend most of my time. This is my private space, my escape from society and the outside world, I guess. All my interests are in here. I usually have my cat keeping me company. He's just in the hallway at the moment, just making sure I'm okay. And he usually either sits there, or he can sit on that chair there, or he'll sit on that chair there. And you can see he's been scratching at the furniture, but I don't mind. I don't have any issues at all with him scratching up the leatherwork here. So anyhow, we'll just go over the items here. There's no major changes. If you watched my video a year ago, there's no changes really in the room. Still got my pictures as before. Bad Kisseggen's a town in northern Bavaria where I lived as a child for 7 years. Got my National Geographics in that corner there, and I deactivated Chinese Type 56 rifle. Got my childhood baseball and mitt on top of the books there. I've just covered up my Bachelor of Arts degree there and my nurse's qualification there, just to cover up my name, but that's where they sit usually. When I first moved to the United Kingdom, I lived in Edinburgh for a while, and that's just a 1946 pen and ink drawing of the castle from the Grass Market in Edinburgh. I picked that up in a charity shop some time ago. It's just a kind of a reminder of my early days here. So if you watch my videos on a regular basis, you may get the impression that I just do military items. I just collect military stuff, which I do in a way, but it's not my main interest in life. I do have a small collection of military here, and it's in that corner there. So that's all I have basically. My regalia items, my medals and what have you, are in that box there in the corner there. But otherwise, that's basically it that I have left nowadays. Got two helmets down there on that box there. Back in the day, I used to collect stamps, so that bookcase is full of my old stamps that I collected back in the 1990s and early 2000s. The albums are basically full of German stamps, mostly, and a few American stamps. The red albums on the bottom there are basically postal history, so we're talking about postcards, letters, that kind of thing. I've got some first day covers and various other items. Got a wind up toy train there. And these metal boxes there contain my coin collection. I also collected coins, so the top one are my, I suppose you could call them my decent coin collections, and there's silver dollars in there and that kind of thing. The other two boxes just filled with bits and pieces I picked up over the last 40 years or whatever, 50 years. And then I've just got other bits and pieces up there. My old Rubik's Cube from the 1980s. I do like astronomy, so I have got quite a few books on astronomy, so they're all sitting on that table there. I've got a rocket there, which is actually a lighter. That's my desk. On the bottom there, I've got my old toy box, which is a old ammunition crate with the STP sticker on it. So it's full of items now. And I've got my old American flag. Got my helmets there, my Cold War helmets. The red item in the corner there is a small telescope, which I've got covered up at the moment. So I own 3 telescopes, and that's one of them down there. And my small military collection, which mainly consists of original World War II German items. Got some more books there, more items there. And then I got a built-in bookcase. When I moved here, I had a joiner come in and he put in that big bookcase. So the top is basically 2 layers of books, because I have too many books and not enough space. So I've got books in the front there, and then I've got layers of books in the back here. So all these bookshelves here are double layered. And as I say, double layers, so there's books behind here. The bottom ones are 3 layers, so there's a shelf here, so I can have a bit more space for keeping things. And then the bottom bookcase is 3 layers full, except for the very bottom there, which is just has room for that locker box, which used to belong to my father. And I've got my 3 German helmets up there. And then I've got my various books here, and all the books that I'm reading at the moment. So at the moment I'm reading Map and Lucia by E.F. Benson. So as I say, these are 3 layers thick, so I've got all my hardbacks on the bottom there. And as you can see, I'm beginning to run out of room for books here, so that's why they're kind of building up along the edges here. Again, a lot of them are astronomy books or military history. Those books are all about Germany. They're all about the United States. And then we've got mixed books up there. Got all my classics up there. I like history. I like Roman history, so a lot of these books here are about the Roman Empire. And I got biographies and autobiographies, political books and the like. All those books behind the mannequin are mostly art history, and then just various other bits. I do like military. I do like reading about weapons, for example. So I've got books there on the M16, the AK-47, etc., etc. I've got some books here on Kenneth Williams, which I've been reading recently again. And again, more astronomy books and more just basic history and God knows what else. So as I say, my cat usually accompanies me here, so I've got a place for him down there next to the radiator heater, or else he can sit on the 2 chairs here. This chair is a little bit damaged, as you can see, he likes scratching on it, which I don't mind. I don't have any problem with him damaging the furniture. I've got a display case full of knickknacks that I've collected over the last 50 or so years. A lot of them are just knickknacks from my life. And I got some more neoclassical items on top of the bookcase or the case here. As I say, I've got an interest in the Roman period and also the Greek history, so these are just reproductions of Greek and Roman statues and the like. I do got a little box here of original Roman items. I've got arthritis on my fingers nowadays, but back in the day I used to play the guitar, so I've still got one of my old guitars here, but to be quite honest, I haven't played that in quite some time. I've got my DIAC M16 in that corner there. I've got my MP40 down there. So, that's really it. That's a quick tour of my room as it stands. Today I think is the 25th of October 2025. So as I say, I'll be spending the day in here, so I'll go and make myself a nice cup of coffee and I'll just come up here. I'll put on the radio, listen to some music. I've got 2 radios up here. My world radio, so I can listen to continental stations if I want to, and the radio here just for local stations and the like. So anyhow, I guess that's that. That's my last cat, Shadow. Unfortunately, he died 7 months ago. I really do miss him. I've got a new cat now, but even though I still miss the little bugger there. Got my Indian artifacts there, and just bits of knickknacks, little ornaments I picked up over the years. So anyhow, that's 10 minutes of my room, so I'll leave it at that. Hope you enjoyed that little room tour, and well, it's not getting any better out there. It's just grim outside. Winter's nearly upon us. But anyhow, that's the view I get from my study over the city that I live in. Okay, I'll leave it at that. Thanks for watching, and bye for now.